StoneX has released its latest quarterly outlook, highlighting the key trends shaping global markets. Sugar prices have stayed near their lowest level in years despite strong import demand. To discuss how global trade flows, weather conditions, and speculative positioning are influencing prices and what might lie ahead for the final months of the year, I have the pleasure to welcome StoneX Brazil Market Intelligence Analyst Marcelo Bonifacio. Marcelo, good to see you again.
It's here, always a pleasure.
How did the global sugar market perform in the third quarter of 2025 compared to StoneX expectations?
So actually, Brazil is really doing well on the crop this year, and the market is really responding to this factor, despite the increasing import demand. We really expected by the beginning of 2025 that the prices would continue its trend, its lower and decreasing trend, as we saw by the end of 2024. And then on this third quarter of the year, we saw continuously the prices trending between the 16 and the 17 cents per pound level. Actually, some points of some days of the last month, the prices stood even lower of the 16 level, trending between the 15.5 and 16 level. And this was something that StoneX predicted and expected, as we are seeing really good crop in Brazil. Even if China uh, came back to the market on the second quarter of 2025, they already imported a lot of sugar, and at the third quarter, China imported around 2 million tons of sugar, a really big volume, but the prices did not respond to that. Prices respond to a really good crop in Brazil.
So you just mentioned China as one of the main market driver. China made a strong comeback in sugar imports this quarter. Why didn't that translate into higher global prices?
So first, the main factor, as I mentioned, was Brazil. So Brazil is producing a lot of sugar. Some analysts were a bit pessimistic about Brazil by the beginning of the year, by the beginning of the crop, as we did not have much better results on the industrial side, really poor yields on the sucrose content of sugarcane that went to the sugar mills in center south of Brazil. But by the developing of the harvest, these indicators really get better, especially on August, and the sugar production is trending to be really close to the previous crop, and that said, we are seeing less sugar cane coming from the fields, poor sugar content on this sugar cane, but the sugar production is staying stable, and we're seeing this resilience of sugar sector in Brazil and a really high and record sugar mix. So this is the main factor. Other factors we can mention, the expectations for the next global crop are really good. Really, the market's expecting surplus on the sugar uh, market, and the demand side is really winning this fight between the bullish and bearish, because they are continuously buying sugar, but the prices are not responding, and that's because the supply side is really good as well.
So let's focus on Brazil. The Centre South region continues to dominate the supply side. How significant is its role in shaping global prices right now?
So, as I mentioned in previous interviews here at StoneX TV, Brazil is one of the only producers on the market when we are talking about the months between April and October, because the rest of the world, especially on the northern hemisphere, are on their intercrops. So this is really beauty of sugar market, because Brazil needs to produce sugar to export to these markets between these months. Together with Australia between June and July, but Brazil has a really bigger crop compared to Australia, and it's the biggest producer with a really good advantage to the second one, that's India. So this is the importance of Brazil between this on the second and especially on the third quarter of each year. Because if Brazil has any problems with its crop, and we have this import demand, the prices get a bit bullish. But that's not what happened this year. Brazil promised a lot of sugar, and Brazil is delivering a lot of sugar on the 2025 crop, 2025-26 crop. And that's why Brazil is really important for this time of year, and is trending on inside the expectations, as we are seeing this higher sugar production and really high exports by this time of year.
And outside Brazil, what are the major developments? I'm thinking particularly of India and Thailand here. How might these two countries impact global supply?
So by this time of year, these two countries are on its intercrop, as I mentioned. The monsoon rains in India started in June and just ended on September, one of the best monsoon years in 20, 30 years. And that's why this time of the year is important for these two countries looking for the expectations. So this year's intercrop, both in Thailand and India, sorry, were really good and really developed this sentiment on the markets that the 25-26 international crop that begins in October is really going to have the surplus that StoneX is estimating. We estimate around 2.8 million metric tons of surplus on the market, and India and Thailand will have a big role on this because we are expecting an increase in India production of around 6 million tons, and in Thailand of around 1 million tons. So these two countries are going to deliver more sugar on the market. India will decide whether or not to export, but Thailand will put more sugar on the export markets, as and it's really important for the Asian market as Thailand is more close it's closer to the import demand players.
Looking ahead, what are the key risks and opportunities that could shift sugar prices in the final quarter of 2025 and beyond?
So first, linking to the previous question about India and Thailand, we have some risks about these two countries, especially on India. Some areas in India uh, went with floods, and some area losses we saw in Maharashtra, an important state of India on the southwestern India. Some areas of cotton and soybeans that were damaged for floods, and we may see some damages for sugarcane too. This is really uncertain right now, but that are some risks that we may see by the beginning of its crop that it comes around November. And for Brazil, we have the fact that Brazil lowers its export between the November and December months as the crop starts to end. And if the import demand increases on a faster pace, maybe we'll not have some players to offer the sugar, especially uh, uh, before Thailand comes to the market. It's around December and January. So we have some risks, some bullish risks for this quarter. But as we mentioned, the market is expecting a global surplus on the new crop, on the international crop, and this can limit sugar prices, especially because sugar mills in Brazil are really not advantage on the hedging side. They have a lot of volumes to hedge, so we have a bullish expectation for this quarter, but with a lot of limitations that maybe we'll continue to see these lower prices on sugar until the end of the year.
So while the sugar market remains well supplied and prices subdued, as we've heard, potential surprises could still change the picture ahead. Thank you, Marcelo.
Thank you. See you next time.
For deeper insights and analysis, scan the QR code or click the link in the description to download the quarterly Commodities Outlook.